This robot has become one of the most controversial inventions in the tech world. But is it really just a robot? Or is someone else watching you through it inside your own home? Why is it wearing a tracksuit? And the biggest question of all, with all the claims that it's being remotely controlled, how did this robot become so successful? In this video, we're taking a deep dive into the Neo Humanoid, its price, its capabilities, and everything else you've been wondering about. If you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Let's get started. Despite the growing claims that it's remotely controlled, sales of Neo haven't slowed down. So how is that possible? We've all seen the videos of Neo doing household chores, carrying glasses, and using its remarkably dexterous hands. But do we also see the operator wearing a VR headset behind the scenes? During a visit by the Wall Street Journal, that secret came to light. Suddenly, the conversation shifted to whether Neo was just an expensive remote-controlled machine. Instead of denying it, 1X turned it into a business strategy. They call it the remote labor model. Whenever the AI reaches its limits, a remote operator steps in. If Neo struggles with a task, a ghost worker takes control, doing the ironing, cleaning the house, or completing whatever task is needed. But that also means the operator can see inside your home, raising obvious questions about privacy and security. To address those concerns, 1X introduced features such as no-go zones and human redaction. The robot can be prevented from entering areas like bedrooms, while people inside the home are automatically blurred on the remote operator's screen. On top of that, users can define exactly when the robot is allowed to operate, much like scheduling a robot vacuum. By giving customers direct control over these privacy safeguards, 1X has tried to turn one of its biggest concerns into one of its biggest selling points. One of the most impressive things about Neo is its hands. If you think they're made of rigid metal parts, think again. They use a tendon-driven design that closely mimics the anatomy of a human hand. It can hold an egg without cracking it, pour you a drink, and even button your shirt with remarkable precision. Now guess how much it weighs? 110 pounds? 130? 150? Nope, just 66 pounds. And the reason it stays so light isn't because it avoids fast food, it's smart engineering. Unlike many other humanoid robots, Neo was designed specifically for the home. If it ever falls on you, you won't end up trapped underneath hundreds of pounds of machinery. At around 66 pounds, most people could lift it without much difficulty. Its lightweight design comes from a carbon fiber skeleton. Inside its body are artificial muscle fibers that contract and relax using electrical current. Unlike the noisy mechanical systems found in many other robots, these artificial muscles flex naturally, allowing Neo to move almost silently, much more like a human. Its appearance is surprisingly friendly. Instead of looking like a machine, Neo looks more like a soft teddy bear. When we think of robots, we usually picture something cold and mechanical, but Neo takes a very different approach. Personally, I also like Figure's design. It looks sleek and elegant, but you can still sense the machinery underneath, which makes sense given its industrial purpose. Neo, on the other hand, was designed for the home, so the engineers literally dressed it in a tracksuit. It wears it so naturally that it looks like it's about to head out for a morning jog. And when it gets back, you can actually take the outfit off and throw it in the washing machine. No, that's not a joke. The outer suit is removable and washable by design. Even so, I'm still not sure I'd be comfortable having this cute-looking robot accidentally fall on top of me. Maybe I'm just not ready for that yet. Would you take a 66-pound robot with you while shopping? What I'm really asking is, even though this robot is lightweight, how much weight can it actually carry? If you're wondering whether it will collapse after lifting just 2 grocery bags, let's talk about its carrying capacity. Neo can carry up to 3/4 of its own body weight. So yes, you could load around 44 pounds onto its back at the grocery store and have it carry the bags for you. Don't let its friendly face fool you. This thing is a performance machine. It has a surprisingly capable muscle system. It stands about 5 feet 5 inches tall, slightly shorter than the average adult, but still close to human proportions. If you're tired of running alone in the morning, it can actually keep you company. Its top speed is around 14 miles per hour. I could say it can jog alongside you at an easy pace, but don't underestimate it. You might actually end up racing Neo, and it could win. I'm rooting for you though. But there's one thing you need to keep in mind. If you go for a 4-hour run, you might have to carry the robot home yourself. Its heart and endurance may not survive that long. The operating time is between 2 and 4 hours on a single charge, and it can recharge in about 24 minutes. After that, you can send it back to doing household chores. Let's talk about the price. Here's a hint. You could buy an entry-level car for the same amount of money as this robot. Think about models like the Hyundai Venue, Nissan Versa, or Mitsubishi Mirage. These cars cost around $20,000 on average. For that price, you could either buy yourself a car or get a home assistant and a potential companion. But what if you don't buy a $20,000 robot and hire a cleaner instead? A standard house cleaner costs an average of $33,933 per year. If you hire a live-in assistant, that cost can rise to more than 4 times the price of Neo, around $89,755 per year. And that doesn't even include human limitations like vacations, sick days, and other factors. Since these numbers are getting pretty high, let's bring it back down to reality. What if you can't afford to buy one? Then there's a rental option, $499 per month. Even though paying $500 a month only means renting the robot, it also gives you a chance to experience it before making a huge commitment. You don't have to spend $20,000 just to test it out. Personally, I'd say take it for a test run first, then make your decision. The demonstrations we see in videos are always filmed in clean, organized environments. Now imagine your own home at its messiest. Could this robot actually handle that? If it can, it passes the test, for you and for the company. If it can't, the solution might simply become remote assistance. And I'm not even counting the CEO's own admission that, if we don't collect your data, we can't improve the product. So who is really being tested here? You and your home, or the robot itself? How reliable are the security barriers during remote control? Will you constantly feel uneasy, or will you simply lock the robot into a specific room and create boundaries? Let's say you're outside and the robot malfunctions and walks away on its own. Who would be responsible? Maybe the best approach would be for it to behave more like a robot vacuum, predictable and limited. But let's return to the question we asked at the beginning of the video. Will we really be comfortable with this fluffy, tracksuit-wearing robot that looks like a cute teddy bear collapsing on top of us one day in the middle of our home? Or are we actually ready to live with the invisible workers controlling it from behind the scenes? There's even a small but funny issue. Neo can't take off its own outfit. When it gets dirty, you have to remove it yourself. First, it serves you, but then you end up serving it. Finally, would you let this $20,000 home companion, with a human potentially hidden behind the controls, into your house? If you're curious about other robots, subscribe to the channel, check out the other videos, and don't forget to leave a like. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.